Hello, if there's anybody there. Is there anybody there? Yes, the weird time changey things going on, which for some reason are different days, different parts of the world. So there is now currently an hour between D finishing and me going live. I could go an hour earlier, but as I said last week, I see Mary on Sundays, so this is the best time for me. If you're here, don't forget to say hello in the chat, because otherwise it's just going to be me waffling for however long. Oh, hello, Mandy. How are you? Nice to see you here. Hope all is well in the Zen house. All is well here. Well, ish. You know, shops are empty, but never mind. We survived without shops at one point, so we can survive without them again. Woohoo! Well done, Mandy. You're asleep. Evening, Tom. Evening, Cheryl. How are you? I'm expecting to be a bit quiet, especially to start off, as we're not thieving D's audience. But we shall see how we go. News from Sharpie's fish room this week. General water changes, tidy ups, no new babies to speak of. The new, something in my eye. Oh no, I'm touching my face. The new filter has gone in with the Pleco grow out tub. They've managed to clog that up in 2 days, so yay. It's amazing how much poop 150 plus Plecos will produce. That's a lot easier to clean out anyway, so I shall do that in the morning. Hello, Kerry, how are you? Then Robert and Roberta have been back and forth in and out of their cave, so we might have some more Pisto babies soon. And today I went and got 4 more Nerite snails just to top up the numbers in a couple of the tanks. Hello, Alex. Probably fairly similar, Kerry. General, everyone panic. Time will spring forward, so I will be back to coinciding with finishing at D's time. It will be, yeah, I think something like that anyway. Because now it'll be 7, so it'll mean I'll be going on an hour early. Yeah, be back to the normal time. Hey Larry, how you doing? And the only other real thing I did this week is a complete redo, which you probably can't see, on the Shrimpy tank down there, which was a complete strip down and resort. Hopefully finally got rid of the planaria. It was more, now that the planaria, all the plants have got a bit overgrown and live. I wouldn't say alive. Chewy, how you doing, bud? Yeah, so it was a complete strip down of the tank, so it was, first thing I did, I pulled out all the decor and the plants and the sponge, stuck them in a tub full of water, and caught all the shrimp, put them in another tub, pulled out all the substrate, washed that all through thoroughly, hopefully got rid of the planaria and a whole bunch of gunk that was in there. Put more substrate back in at the bottom, which is the tetraactive, it's some random red stuff. I had half a bag lying around. Put the stratum back on the top of that, and washed off all the plants and all the pardon me, Yeah, wash off all the plants and the wood and the filter and everything under the tap. Well, I didn't do the filter under the tap, but everything else, just to get as many planarians as I could off. Then reset it all up and put all the shrimpies and snailies back in, and fingers crossed. It all seems to be going well. There's about 4 or 5 of the big females in there buried up at the moment, so no losses that I can see. So yes, hopefully that went well. Clean water, far less plant life. I mean, the Java fern that I pulled out, the rhizome was like that, and when you bear in mind the tank's only that big, it's well, so yeah, you can see the size of the tank and have a sort of 10-inch long Java fern in there. Well, there were 2 of them. Pulled out all the limnophilia. There's a big bunch of that, several big bunches of corkscrew val, and a bunch of dwarf sage came out as well. Yeah, so that one's sorted. So yeah, got more Nerite snails today from Pets at Home because a couple have suicided or just gone missing. Yeah, probably find a shell laying around somewhere at some point randomly. Well, let's just check I've not missed anyone. Thank you, Cody. How are you doing, fella? Kerry, if I missed you. Sandy, hello. I think I've got everyone now, so we're there. Yes, that's what's been going on. Currently being serenaded by the frogs in the back garden and seeing the bats swooping about out there. I am well and healthy as ever, so no need to mention any C words. Yep. Carry on, my wayward son. There'll be peace when we are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more. There you go, Chewy. My head just remembers lyrics. Hey, Teresa, how are you? Keep calm and carry on is kind of one of those sort of English sayings that's been around for a few years now, but everyone seems to have forgotten it in the panic lately. I just pretty much the only things I will panic by, I'll make sure, as I do not all times, but I'll make sure I've got a couple of packs of paracetamol, a couple of packs of ibuprofen, plenty of Coke, and a few tins. That's it. That's all I need. I'm fine on fish food. Anything else I might need, I can order in. People seem to be forgetting that you can order stuff. Everyone's like panicking and going to the shop when you could just order it online and get it delivered. Completely reduce the risks of catching anything like a cold or a sickness bug. And it's now in. It has made it to Norfolk now, the last county in the UK. Yeah, it's getting that way here, man. The problem will be that by the time the supply chain catches up, which will be a week or two, everyone will still have everything at home, and all the shops will be full, and no one will be in there buying anything. Yeah, it's not the end of the world, but yeah, I'm trying not to, because the whole thing is just confused the hell out of me. Is why don't people do it every year when flu season comes around? Yeah, that just happens anyway, Chewy. If it was speak out against the president of China, then yeah, they just tend to disappear anyway. It's kind of been going on since Mao. You know, as these things happen, deal with it, peeps. It's not as long as you've got Red Bull and tobacco, you're fine. He says. Or Monster, if either want to sponsor me. Hell, I'll even take a tobacco sponsor. Doesn't bother me. I'll even wear a t-shirt or a hat. Yeah, I just don't. Like they was saying, it's just really why? Why people? It's just, I mean, oh, gee, can you imagine what would happen if the plague came again? Yeah, a bit of Y pestis just to clear the stocks out. That'd definitely do the trick. 3 days guaranteed death. Yes, that's what you call a disease. Yeah, money doesn't buy you safety though in China. It shouldn't buy you safety anywhere, but you know, it's hopefully it will bring about some kind of long-term change to the way things are done country governmentally. Oh, just spotted a mosquito. Good news. Yeah. I'll say if anyone should be held accountable for it, it's the media. They've just blown everything out all proportion. If yeah, they just kept their mouths shut and gone, yeah, there's a different strain of flu going around. Nothing would have happened. But hey, hot sauce, that's the solution, Larry, isn't it? Loads and loads of hot sauce. Proper hot sauce, though, not some wussy McDonald's extra hot zinger wings or whatever they are. Actually, that's KFC, isn't it? Yeah, which just aren't hot. Yes, not the flu. Here's the flu. It's basic. Yeah, I just gone with the what is going to get the most clicks. They've gone clickbait. That's what the news is these days. Now, thing is, if we're going to get it, we're going to get it. If we're not, we're not. I know I'm kind of fatalistic about these things, but hey, yeah, it's very little you can actually do to prevent it. If you're going to catch it, you're going to catch it. Oh. I'm not entirely sure what's worse right now, algae wafers or Rocky biscuits. Um, in that case, I'll just smoke it out, whatever it is. Yeah, it's just. It's like the thing it makes me wonder is what aren't they reporting? I mean, over here, okay, you know, Brexit's done, so they've got nothing to report about that anymore. But you know, anyway, all for the subjects. Rocky biscuits is worse. Yeah, I suppose it depends how many plecos you got to feed, Dan. If you've got as many plecos to feed as I have, algae wafers is probably more worrying. Lurk away, Chris. Good to have you aboard. Actually, while I remember, I did look at my numbers a while back, about 20 minutes ago. I'm now just under 200 hours remaining to get the hopefully get the email from YouTube to say yay. So yes, thank you for everyone who's either sat and watched or hit play and mute and then just put things away and not paid any attention to it. So some what cold water ever since stranded mackerel. I have seen stranded mackerel, Chewy. Not so much around here, but more on the Atlantic coast than the North Sea coast. Yeah. If you've got big rock pools, or some of our beaches, you get the beach, which is kind of like a sandbar, and then you get a drop off. So you get a little channel, very easy to catch. You just walk in there with a net and scoop them out. But yeah, oh yeah, I'll say the running out of chocolate is a desperate thing. I do have a small bar myself for later. I say a small bar, I mean a normal size bar. For some reason they got their pack sizing wrong. They call it a share size, but no, that's a single serving of chocolate. Anything smaller than that is a diet bar of chocolate. I'm heading around the local shop. Yeah, it's yeah, snack size, diet size. Hang on, let me grab it. All right. Right, there's nearly fell over. That is a single size serving of chocolate. That is not a share size. Share size would be double. Any smaller than that is a diet size bar of chocolate or kiddie size. Oh, don't worry, Amanda. I can get through. Man, try and work out the weights. Yeah, I can easily do a £1 bar of chocolate on my own in an evening. Someone once bought me the 1 kilo bar of dairy milk for Christmas, which is £2.2, and I ate that in about 4 hours. Oh, Chewy's with the interesting. Yeah, share size is pillow size, Dan, exactly. Oh, Chewy with the interesting. Studying cold water fish what percentage? I would have thought those numbers are really low, Chewy. The amount of people who actually go past something more than ornamental. It's, I mean, the only, well, actually, no, I mean, the only freshwater fish I've got at the moment are comet goldfish. But in the past, in that pond, have been crucian carp, which are the primogenitors of goldfish. They're the original Carassius auratus. And then there was some roach and gudgeon in there, which are Rutulus rutulus, and is gudgeon gobio? I think it is. And they did well. It was just me let the pond go to hell over several years, and well, the crucian carp got eaten by cats. And the rest, I think, just kind of succumbed as the pond filled up with muck and water lily and then leaked. So, yeah, unfortunate, but these things do happen. Oh man, he's in panic mode. Week 2 with kids who are bored. Oh, bored kids, never good. Yeah. ABC, I aspire 20 guesses. I pack my bag and in it I put, that's a good one as well. Stick them in the window, punch buggy. Oh dear. Well, no, it's all down to you, Cheryl. If you want to go out on a date, go out on a date. No, chances are we're probably all going to get it at some point. So there we go. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know there's plenty of endangered cold water species. We got several in the UK. Things like the Tommy Ruff and the Pope, not to be confused with the Tope, completely different creatures. Um, the grayling is getting pretty rare now, and the grayling is an absolutely stunning fish. They call it the princess of the stream. No, it makes a trout look ugly. Bloody evil to try and catch as well. Cheryl, you little slattern. You know, as long as you have alcohol, that'll keep you safe. Moonmaker, hello, how are you? Healthy as can be expected from me, which is, generally not very. Exactly. One of my, not theories, what's the word? Not psychologies. Um, Philosophy, that's the word. One of my philosophies is you're going to die of something, may as well die of something you enjoy. I can sit still, Kerry. I can sit there all day, just fire up YouTube and watch documentaries and then go to bed. Well, I do get up in the middle because I do have to have a nap, because sitting down and not doing anything gets tiring after a while. Yes. Normie. Walks in the room, cough, sneeze, actually shakes hands with us. How you doing, Norm? You on the mend yet, buddy? Yeah, Norman is someone who actually has contracted what we're not supposed to talk about. And are you technically in the at-risk group, Norm? Are you old enough? I'm trying to think. You probably are. And you're a Geordie, so bad enough. Good now you're getting better though, buddy. I have been joking about it, but I figured you wouldn't mind me joking about it. If I was all concerned and worried about you, then you'd be more worried. 25 years. Yeah, no, I've got 5 years on you, Mandy. Exactly. Who cares? Just sniff some more Tamiya extra thin, and well, it ain't gonna be thinner with you, is it, Norm? Because that involves paint. But yeah, sniff some Tamiya extra thin cement, and job done. And don't forget the sucker fisherman's friend either. Hey, Sean. And actually, I was thinking about you earlier, Sean, in one of the local shops. And yes, they had several different flavors of Neolamprologus, all of which were rather pretty, and all of which were looking at me saying, "Buy me, buy me, buy me," but I've got nowhere to put them, so I couldn't, Sean. Sorry. Yeah, see you later, Kerry. Have fun. So yes, there we go. Yeah, just some Nerite snails today, which technically are shell dwellers, so that's a win-win. And yes, Yeah, Sean has that effect on women, though, Mandy. It's just what happens. It's either that or not. Actually, I blame Norman. Blame Norman for anything. I always do. Everyone does. It's because he's a Geordie. You just blame the Geordies. Yeah, I will say he's, and I don't know whether it's Dan or me, but he's diversifying. It was just African cichlids in there, and I know shell dwellers are an African cichlid, but you know what I mean. The big, boisterous, aggressive ones. You know, the ones you need a big tank and all that stuff, not the friendly little ones. Um, he's gradually getting more of the smaller species, more of the more normal tropical friendly community type fishies. And then yeah, he's still got the dwarf snakehead in there, which is keeps looking at me every time I go in there, looking at me, looking miserable, like he needs a new home. But I haven't. Again, I've not got anywhere to put a snakehead. Um, yeah, my shell dwellers are still in the shop, Moonmaker. It will happen. As I think these butterfly cichlids have had long enough to decide whether they're going to spawn or not. I've not seen anything, so they may have to come out of that tank along with the glow light danios. So I'm pretty sure glow light danios and shell dwellers wouldn't get on too well. Being the glow lights are such fast feeders, the food wouldn't get down to the shellies. They'd probably eat the babies as well. And little Ginger would have to come out there as well. So yeah, and the substrate, and well, the rock would be okay. You just have to take all the plants out, all the substrate out, figure out a way of getting some kind of small island in a corner so I can then have some greenery in there just to pull some of the nitrates out of the water. And you know, just bunch of sand and some shells and some multis probably. Yeah, I say it's the with the costumers in chillers and heaters, it's a lot easier to warm something up than it is to cool it down. And yeah, the back they build millions of heaters and a few thousand chillers probably every year. Could always start buying plastic bins and use them. What do you think my grow out tubs are, Sean? I'm literally, mate, I am running out of plugs. I'm running out of sockets. The Pisto tank, I point at it and there's no way you can see it. It's right over the other side of the house. That is running off of the socket upstairs outside of the bathroom door. It's got an extension lead running all the way down the stairs. So yeah, that's how short I am on sockets at the moment. So hopefully, I think about the only place I could put a tank now would be in my bedroom on the, it would probably have to go on one of the bedside cabinets, so it has to be a small tank. And I do use the bedside cabinets and stuff. So yeah, it's maybe a shrimp tank. That would be about it. Sneak next door and run an extension. It probably wouldn't be too difficult to do. I don't know, they'd be, might have power. If they got power in the loft, that'd be easy. So I'd just sneak the cable through the air bricks. Short circuit. Yes, it is an old 80s movie about a bad robot. Number 5 is alive. Yo, laser lips, your mother was a snowblower. Coffee. See, I go with this this canned stuff. Does just the same job. But actually, coffee doesn't do much for me anymore. Bedroom says 68 degrees. Oh, you lucky swine, Mandy. but I guess that's down to aircon rather than anything else, given that you're a Texan. Even have to use a heater in my goldfish grow out tank here. It's yeah, Finn, compared to some of the things I've done in my life, drinking Red Bull is not unhealthy. Yeah, I've done far more unhealthy things than drink caffeinated fizzy drinks. Yeah, I don't know. I would probably watch a movie about fish keeping. They should do it. Fish Fam, the movie. I think Mr. Zen might have something to say about that, Moonmaker. Yeah, I mean, my house temperature goes up and down with the. They got vitamins in them. Exactly. That's the only thing I've done is I'm making sure I take my vitamin tablets. National Lampoon's Fish Keeping. Oh, Jesus. Have you been on some of the Facebook groups, Norman? Oh, dear. Making toast. What should I have? Butter, peanut butter, or Nutella? I go with all three, I would say. Put the butter on, then the peanut butter, then Nutella. Job done. Starring John Red Bull Sharp. Still not sponsored. Hey, if someone wants me to front they'd need to script it, otherwise the waffle it'd end up with an 8-hour movie. But yeah, if someone wants me to front a movie or a TV show about keeping fish, I think I can happily stare at the camera and bluff and blunder my way through it, with the occasional factoid thrown in for good measure. Speaking of factoids, this month's Practical Fish Keeping magazine, there is a thing in there. It's a serious article, but it did make me laugh. It's the 17 myths about fish keeping. The classics like when you set up a new tank, take the water out of your old tank, and I ain't got the looks over TV. I've got the face for radio and the voice for silent movies. So yeah, there's things like turn off your heaters in summer, and the don't put two electric eels in the same tank or they will short circuit each other. What? How the hell do people even come up with these things? It's some of the myths are just hilarious. I can't try to remember what some of the others were. I can't now. The old memory's starting to go. Ooh, pardon me. At least on TV they could edit out the cigarettes and the burping. That's one of the ways you can tell you're watching something that's been around for donkey's years. Watching something old on TV or a movie or something is people smoke. Nowadays, you have someone smoking in a movie and probably make it a 15 rated movie. Oh no, tablet dead. Man down, man down. Yeah. So that is the thing with native species, is keeping them cool enough in our climes generally. Okay, summertime I don't heat the house, but the house gets hot. It was There were a few days last year where I was having to cool down this tank. It's like, why are all the fish at the surface gasping? Oh, right. Look at the thermometer and it's going 32. Oh, shit. Ah, yes, tales of the unexpected, all the old cliches. Yeah, he's. I mean, even the Abbey Road album cover. If you get the original one, where they're all crossing the street. You've got the corpse and the Undertaker, and they're all dressed up into different roles. Paul McCartney's got a ciggy in his hand. If you get the new one, they've actually photoshopped the cigarette out of his hand. Oh no, I know you don't have heating up there, Norm. You just eat another Jaffa cake and carry on. That's exactly what you do. Might break out a spring vest if it gets really cold. Or maybe the knotted hanky to keep your head warm. Or I wonder how insulating a coat of Future would be. It'd certainly keep the rain off. Well. Good evening, Richie. How the devil are you? Yes, Richie is. I think it might be another Norm, but Norm knows anyway. If you're watching the ISM Friday Night Live show, which I'll mention something in a moment, and you notice that my camera turns off every now and then, it's because I'm having a ciggy, and I don't want to be leaning right back and trying to get myself out of camera shot. Oh, Alex, what do I feed my plecos? Generally algae wafers. I can show you the exact ones I feed. Ooh, as long as the trousers don't fall down. So we have the if it focuses or whatever, the Serra catfish chips, which have got the wood in them, willow bark and alder cones, which they need for their digestion, and it helps them not disintegrate so quickly. And a new make, I don't know if it's a new make to the UK or a new make full stop, Fish Science oak and algae wafers, so they've got oak bark in them as well. These ones are good and chunky. Other than that, they get courgette, cucumber, green beans, bell peppers, carrot, wood. Also, yeah, it's mainly wafers and courgette. I do have some of the what they call catfish pellets. It's bottom feeder pellets, which have got plenty of protein in them as well. So everything needs some protein in its diet. So occasionally I just chuck a few of them in and job done. Obviously with this tote that you can't see down here, that's got, last count was about 170 in there. Yeah, they get more than a few. Oh, got some more people turn up. Who we got? I haven't seen that. Hello, Ness. How are you? Dan Slee, welcome aboard, Mr. Dan. And Bobo Kayla. Good evening, Bob. Kayla's Aquatics. Yeah, there's a chance you might be granddaddy again, Bob. Yes, they've been back in and out of the cave again. So was it Friday morning when I got up, turned the lights on, fed the fish? Neither of them came out of their coconut hut. So yes, probably going on. That is the problem if you're trying to keep native species. Yeah, it's just keeping them cool enough is the problem. Pam, how are you, my lovely? Yeah, bottom feeder bug bites, they go down well. To be fair, I mean, plecos will eat virtually anything. They're not exactly choosy. They just sort of om across whatever they happen to be on, and anything edible ends up going down their throat. Yeah, Northfin's got some good stuff. I say it's different sides of the pond. We do have different products. I mean, they may well be the same product, just labelled differently. Like in the US, you have Sun canister filters. Over here, they're rebadged as All Pond Solutions. It's exactly the same filter. All they've done is change the box it comes in and the branding. Ah, I see, Dan. You're Lieutenant Dan. Yeah, but I abbreviate virtually everyone's name out. Slee. Yeah, just call you Slee. Yeah, so everyone gets abbreviated. Yeah, it's like Norman is Norm. If it's more than like 4 letters in a name, I generally abbreviate it. Yeah, so I think those marina filters are normally £39.99 or 40 quid over here. So getting them for £9.99 or tenner is, yeah, obviously, yeah, famously, maybe not, but yeah. So getting a filter for a quarter of the price it should have been. Can't really say no. I kind of needed one. I was really looking at getting one, and they turn up. I'm not ignoring you, Daniel. Yeah, cheapo filter for frogs. I mean, mine is blocking up fairly rapidly, but I think that is purely just because the amount of poop that's getting generated in that tank or this tub. But yeah, I still say you can't really go wrong with this. Well, maybe not a sponge, but a box filter will certainly pull a lot of the gunk out of the water. And no one's ever going to call you Norm. That'd be almost as insulting as calling you a Mackham when you're a Brackham, obviously. Oh dear, Dan. Got the fake account. Yeah. Technical difficulties. Bob, what's going on? Cheap speakers blue, ancient cheap pick single stereo. Oh, damn it. Yeah. Plug-in is always better in my book. But now I'm not. Tree just need a little bit of water. Well, that filter will probably do quite well then, because all the intake is right at the bottom. So, yes, if you've only got a little bit of water because they're tree frogs, you want a filter where the intake is right at the bottom and isn't too deep on the intake, as it were. Which and they do smaller versions of those marinas, which might do the job. Plug-in won't work either. Oh, damn it. Yeah, I'm not the tech guy, Bob. I can solder you a new cable onto it, no worries. But you know, when it comes to Bluetooth and all that jazz, no. I'm a fan of wires. Wires just work until they don't, and then the wire's broke. So you find out either replace the wire or you find out where it broke. Check all the sound settings on. Yeah. Yeah. Pass Bob. Yep, there we go. Mr. Dan will help me out later. Yeah, Bluetooth scares me. Who's listening in? Probably the same people that are listening in every time you use Alexa or Siri or Cortana or OK Google. And actually, little known fact, Bluetooth is named after was he Danish or Norwegian? I think it might have been Danish king, Harold the Bluetooth, because his teeth went blue for some reason. American bullfrog, warlocks, and well, I don't know if you can hear it coming through. Probably not. 'Cause this camera's got Ponzi mics on it that cut out background noise. Apparently, Nordic king. That was it. Norwegian, not Danish. Oops, just upset an entire nation. No, I'm not trolling you, Mandy. That is true. He's named after Harold Bluetooth, the Norwegian king. Yeah, I say you might hear in the background. I'm getting serenaded by the frogs again. Last count, there were 23 of them in the pond, and there is gargantuan amounts of frog spawn now. To the point where poor Zach is struggling to find a part of the pond he can drink out of. Because he's scared of frogs now, ever since one jumped at him. And then when he caught one and it screamed at him, yeah, but he's scared of frogs now. So a frog sticks its head up and he won't go and drink near it. New peeps turn up. Evening Poseidon, how you doing? Evening Griffin, good to see you aboard. Yep, learned you something new for today. Yep, one of those rare occasions where the tech companies actually got together, like with the USB, where everything uses the same connection, unless you're Apple. And you go, no, we're not going to use the same thing as everyone else. We're going to have our own one that doesn't work with anything else. Yeah, same here, Norm. If they listen and spy on me, they're going to need some serious therapy. If they manage to plug into what I'm dreaming about at night, oh dear, I really feel sorry for anyone who gets that. Yeah, something small to filter the water. Yeah, I would said something in kind of like that marina filter I've got, but you want the intake to be right at the bottom and not be very deep, don't you? Doesn't matter if it sucks the water up 3 feet or 6 inches higher and then trickles it back out again. Because you're not going to have a lot of water. You want the filter to have a shallow intake on it. Hang on the back might work, but getting a long enough intake could be the problem there. It's yes, could be interesting. Good evening, Sandra. How are you? I've had Nelson Blue Tongue. Tablespoon. Yeah, but they soon learn these things, Bob. I mean, that was one of the myths in the magazine was fish have short recognise when it's dinner time or breakfast time or water change time or but they certainly get to recognise what a net looks like. Now I can stick my hand in most of the tanks and the fish don't bother at all. I often start nibbling me to see if I've got food in my hand. As soon as I put a net in there, they've all disappeared. Apart from the guppies, they just swim into it on their own because they're a bit dumb. Yes, so guppies are just guppies. Not exactly bright. It's currently showing as 24 and 24, Chewy. So either everyone who's watching has hit like, or whatever. So I don't know if any of the Mandy, have you still got my PayPal link there? If you wouldn't mind putting that up in the chat. Again, I don't expect anything, but if anyone does decide they want to donate something to the Sharpie's Fish Room Fund and perhaps the Tin Food Fund, then I won't say no. There we go. More likes than people watching. How's that work, eh? People coming and going. Yeah, I'm going to avoid that joke as well. Yeah, the thing is, Mandy, it'll probably be quicker for you to find it than for me to find it. It's one of them things. Oh, thank you very much, Norm. So that is one difference I have noticed between the modelling community and the fish community, is modelers tend not to be hitting the like button or leaving comments or doing anything like that. They'll watch the video and that's it, or they'll watch the live stream and that's it. Whereas fishy peeps, I hit the like button, I'll leave you a comment, all this stuff, which all helps grow the channel. It's like modelers don't want other people's channels to grow. We lost people. I'm not too worried about it, Bob. These things happen. Probably model people turning up and realising there's fish there and going, I wanted models, not fish. Go away, go away. But if I just sat in front of a rack of models, it would be rather boring for everyone. At least, the fish move around and look pretty. It's not a bunch of big green Russian tanks. Yeah, the solution I found to the abundance of gutlets, moonmakers I call them, is the simple addition of a small dwarf cichlid or a rainbow fish to a tank. And then, job done. You don't get any baby guppies or platties. I know Poseidon, they say it's better to have two channels. Don't diversify. Don't do. You can have different things doing on different channels, but geez, I can't figure that one out. Heck, I'm thinking about a third subject as well. So Fish Fam got your back. Exactly. It's that. I'm not slating the modelers. If there's any modeler people here, I'm not slating anyone. It's just different cultures and different communities. The fish community tends to be more embracing and encompassing, and everyone, helps each other and pulls together. And when a channel gets monetized, it's all like, well done, congratulations. In modeling, someone gets monetized, and either nothing is said or people unsubscribe because there's adverts. I'll send you that check, Norm, when I've got some money. Male blue lyre-tails, they are lovely looking guppies. No girls allowed. Yeah, there are plenty of baby guppies in there, but what I do when I start a new tank is I pull out a couple of the female guppies, chuck them into the new tank, and use them to cycle it, as it were. Getting in trouble for, you can't put a live fish in an uncycled tank. Yeah, you can when when you're using a whole bunch of other stuff in there that will cycle it pretty much instantly. Yeah, I would say it's the fish fam chewy is what I to me the fish fam is those that stream and do the videos, but it's more the people that turn up regularly to the chats, people that turn up to everyone's stream, or they apologize if they didn't make it to your stream because they were having a nap or they had things to do, or you know, like that to me is the fish fam, that central group of everyone who helps everyone. Oh, well done, Bob. I would say it's going to be close, but I reckon you'll get there before me. You got more hours than me to get, but you'll get there first. Hadley, welcome aboard. If I haven't said hello yet, and thank you very much, Mandy, for digging out the PayPal link. Yeah, sometimes if you get a whole bunch of miles together, they will start fin nipping. It's not an issue I've noticed, but I've got more females than males, so yeah, it's exactly. I mean, the amount of people there are that put videos out and do live streams. I have done a few playlists on my channel, Bob. I think I did one that is aquatics. There is a tank build series, a model tank, Tamiya SU-76N. I think there's a Spitfire build series, the Red Riding Hood painting build series, the How I Do's. I think I separate quite a lot up into playlists, but I can't remember. So I wouldn't worry overly about it, Bob. We'll get you there first. I'll get there eventually. Haley, how the devil are you, my dearie? Did you enjoy your time at the Big Fish deal? Not shaking hands or hugging people. Yeah, I'll say it's. Yeah, guppies are great. I just don't. I mean, guppy breeders hate me anyway because I go, "Oh, those ones are pretty. I'll have two of them. Those ones are pretty. I'll have two of them. Those ones are pretty. I'll have two of them." And I'll have that male and two of them males, and then I'll put them all in the tank together. So when they've spent months or years breeding out their lines, so they all go through, and then I go mix them all back together, and probably end up with stronger genetics and longer-lived guppies in the end, anyway. No need, Bob. I mean, I'm not going to complain if you stick a playlist on and watch it. Leave it playing while you're asleep. But it's getting there. Soon be there. Another month or so. Yeah. And yep, I've been doing the same. I've been watching Bob. I'll say I've been watching Bob. Bob has been on in the background. Let's put it that way. And Anthony, if I missed you earlier, say hello. Oh, well done, Hadley. Finally got just yourself some shrimpies. Yep. And I actually spotted JC and B earlier. They were both out and about. It's very rare I actually see them, considering the size of those things. They spend most of their time hidden up behind this big chunk of wood here. Oh, we've got a platy giving birth. Yeah. Normally, if the live bearers are giving birth, they go and hide behind the filter. But yeah, big African wood shrimp are hiding behind that big chunk of driftwood there. So how's the fry? They're getting there, growing slow. Hang on, let me. Is it bright enough for you to actually see into it? Well, you might see something. Let's have a go. I don't know how well this camera's going to like this. We'll see. Try not to show you anything iffy. As you can see, it's not like the most high-tech of setups, but there's the new filter. And you can see there's some on the flower pot, some on the other flower pot, some on the sides. The rest are probably on the wood or hiding on the filters. And while we're down, we can go. That's the algae farm with the CPDs in it that did have the rams. CPDs may well be coming out, and I might try something else in there. Wookie hugs back to Amber then, please, Hayley. And then this is the other flex that is right beside me as I stream, which has got the African butterfly cichlids, glow light or chopray danios. Figure out which one I'm turning the camera. And Ginger, the longfin super red bristlenose is in there as well. And for some reason, the butterfly cichlids are hiding up. Where are you, Anomalachromis? Yeah, they're hiding up somewhere in the that way in the dense vegetation. So, and actually, I can show you the shrimps. And that's what we've done with the shrimp tank, but there will be, straighten it up, there will be a video on that at some point this week. Yes, the Celestial Pearl Danios are in their moon maker. There we go. Excuse the glass, needed a clean. It's just the 4 of them in there at the moment. So I'll either get a whole bunch more or I'll move them somewhere else. Oh. And there we go. Yeah, Fluoroflexes are a lovely tank. I mean, they aren't cheap, but they're a damn good tank. And yeah, Megaflex is what I would really want. I know it's expensive for a 30. Well, American price wise is expensive for a 33 gallon. UK price wise, it's not the cheapest, but it's not the most expensive for a 33 gallon. Yeah. The ones that are in that tank are the Celestial Pearl Danios. The ones that are in the Flex are the Chopray Danios, or the Glow Light Danios as they're called. Over here, Cerastixes Chopray, I think, something like that anyway. Well, I've got 2 halves of Megaflex. Already down. It's, yeah, I mean, it's not just the price of the tank. This is buying a stand and finding somewhere to put it as well. It would be the problem. Yeah, that is the other thing with the flexes. You do get a lot of flow out of them. I'm going to say mine are the 15 gallon. They do the 9 gallon, and it has the exact same pump in it. And I think it's the exact same pump that they use in some of the smaller tanks as well. Maybe not the Ebbies, but the Specs and stuff like that. And yeah, simple solution to that and to reduce the flow is just stick a bit of sponge over the outlet. You still get the same flow, but it just dissipates it, which is what I did with this Flex here when it was a shrimp tank. What I've done is I tend to have one inlet, or one outlet, sorry, basically aimed at the bottom of the tank, because otherwise you can get a dead spot in that corner. So I have it aimed down so it blows and keeps that corner clear, and the other one blowing across the top of the tank to get the surface agitation. Oh, Chris has just put up his top 5 beginner fish keeper cichlids, which I'm going to go with there being Apistogrammas, Crebensis, probably not rams, convicts, shell dwellers or multis, and angelfish. How'd I do, Chris, if you're still here? 2.5 gallon EV with close to like a mini water tornado. Yeah. Yeah. There's it does seem to be a thing where some people say, no, you need more flow, you need more flow, you need more flow. And then you go, actually, no, I don't need more flow. I need less flow. I need less flow. I need less water movement. It's blowing everything all over the tank. Hey, Amano, how are you? Yeah, I say that is a good idea, Sean. Drill a hole in the hose so it doesn't blow so much water out the outlets. But it's one of those things where it's tank dependent. Some species like the extra flow. Now, if you've got things like rainbow fish and danios and that kind of thing, they prefer the more active the fish. Not necessarily the more flow they want, the more oxygen they need, because the more active they are, the more oxygen they use. Generally speaking, more flow means you've got more surface agitation, which means you've got more oxygen coming into the water through gas transfer. So that's that, which I think was Corey covered it in his video on hill stream loaches. Yeah, put a link up in the chat, Chris. How did I do with my guesses as to what they were? I went with cribs, apistos, angelfish, multis, and angels as my 5. Did I get anywhere near? Yes. Yeah, more smaller filters is probably better for a tank. I mean, we're back onto the canister filter thing again, aren't we? If you've got a tank that needs a canister, use a canister. If you've got a tank that doesn't need a canister, don't use a canister. It's that simple. No, when people go, oh no, but the sponge filter is ugly, and then I have 2 honking great big black pipes sticking into the tank. Now, one honking big black pipe going all the way down to the bottom, and on the other side they've got a honking great spray bar going all the way across it. Now that's more ugly than a sponge filter stuck behind a piece of rock. Or an internal filter that's mainly hidden by, it's up in the back corner, so it's not exactly visible, and it's got crypts and valve growing up. I went with cribs, obviously, apistos, yeah, angels. Then I went angels, multis, so shell dwellers, and what was the other one I said? I can't remember now. Cribs, apistos, angels, multis, and possibly convicts or something. Although I would have stuck the butterfly cichlid on there because they're another dwarf and they're easy to keep as long as you have hard water. But yeah, pretty much the same. But I wouldn't put rams in because rams can be a bit finicky depending on what your water parameters are and where they come from. And obviously a Bolivian ram is a lot hardier than an electric blue German ram. I got 2s, then got 3. So cribs and a pistos. Angels. I shall wait and see. I shall watch the video probably tomorrow morning, Chris, and I'll see how badly I did. Probably not as badly as I normally do with your quizzes, but you know. That would be like me setting a quiz on Cold War Russian armor. Shell dwellers, what dwellers are pistos, rams, and cribs? Yeah. Yes. Actually, the other article I did find really interesting this week's Practical Fish Keeping magazine. Don't know if it's UK only or whether it is stateside as well. There was an article about discus as well, which was really quite interesting. Basically, they're saying, to me, people are now, if anyone in chat has discus, don't mean to cause offence, but I think a lot of people get discus to have a discus tank for the status. Now, I keep discus. Yeah. Well done, you're a cichlid keeper. Because that's what I'm going to call them from now on. They keep perpetuating, no, they need this exact thing. Now, I was looking in is it the Stenker discus, which are the ones that are bred in Europe. Well, they're happy in pH 7 to 8, temperatures 26 to 32. You know, everything's kind of, they just spread the parameters out so they're happy in normal water. Who would have thought it? You don't need pH 5.5, 34 degrees, blah, blah, blah. You know, they bred them to be more forgiving fish, easier to keep. Which is probably why some people don't like them. But yeah, there we go. I mean, it's one of those where, yes, they're a very pretty fish. Could I have a big enough tank for them? Probably not. So will I get them? Most likely not. Yeah, domesticated. You get some wild caught ones, and then you put their babies into slightly harder water, slightly cooler temperature. Then you put their babies into harder water. You gradually get to where the general water conditions are. Yeah, exactly. They're talking about the Rift Lake cichlids, the big, aggressive, scary, nasty ones, rather than. I mean, how many people don't even realise that an angelfish is a cichlid? Or a cribensis is a cichlid. Yeah, they're talking about abunas and peacocks and haps, and you're like, well, yeah, they are big and aggressive, but there's so many that aren't. I mean, cribs, yeah, they can get aggressive. But that's only because they're protecting their babies. I like plants too, which is why I go for the dwarf cichlids. I mean, I've got the African butterfly cichlids in here, and that's planted and planted and planted, and they're perfectly happy swimming about in the plants. They don't pull anything up. I think about the only fish I've got that regularly pulls plants up, or destroys plants if it can, or newly planted ones get pulled up, and anything that's a bit on its last legs or a bit iffy gets snapped off, and that's Dave in here and Bertie in the other flex, which are two full-grown female bristle noses that go around the tank like a JCB. You know, hence JC and B. Yeah, keep guppies, you can keep multis. It's basically the same tank conditions, isn't it, Sean? Yeah, there are, Chris. There's so many dwarf cichlids. And absolutely gorgeous. I mean, yeah, I know there are some absolutely stunning peacocks, haps, and booners and that kind of stuff. But you know, again, there's something that's bred so much, and you go to a shop and you buy a young one, you don't know what it's going to colour up like when it gets to an adult. And a lot of the ones I see really aren't very impressive. Again, I'm talking UK and standard pet shops rather than specialist cichlid dealers, as it were. And the condition, the tank sizes, everything you need. You can't have plants with them, as we said, because they'll destroy them. I mean, even something like an Oscar would be nice, but I can't provide the right home for an Oscar, so I'm not going to bother. It's oh yeah, that'll happen, Dan. Yeah, but it's bristle noses doing what bristle noses do. I'm guessing they probably grabbed onto the underside of the leaf and then it pulled off, so they grabbed onto another one that pulled off. And again, no, Bus or Bucephalandra is a plant that looks lovely. It's relatively easy, it doesn't need absurdly high light or anything. But as you say, yeah, it's very slow growing, generally quite expensive. So yeah, I've not gone for Boost yet. So yeah, and all my plants are easy plants. I pick them because the label on the Tropica packet says easy. I don't pick the ones that say advanced or hard. I've got a couple of mediums, but that's only things like crits, which aren't exactly difficult. Tips on catching them: I would go with the bowl or dish. I mean, I've got a snail trap around here somewhere, but I wouldn't catch too many. Just a bowl or dish in the tank with either, say, cucumber, courgette, some kind of green veg, even just lettuce leaves or whatever. Just stick it in there and leave it overnight. Pull it out in the morning, and it'll probably be covered in snails. Chuck the snails out the back for the birds, and pop it back in the next night. That's how I do it. Either that, or just get your hand in there and pull the blooming things out. If they're all coming up the glass, Denolay, Denerla, or Danon, as someone I know calls it, just struggles with the pronunciation, so calls it Danon. They make a snail scraper, which is like the tool with like a little. If you imagine like a dustpan and brush on the stand-up ones, but you just run it up the glass and the little wheel knocks the snails off and into the little collection thing and clears them all up that way. Yeah, cucumber on some thread, that'll do the trick. These are tadpole snails, yeah. Then Mandy can't grow hang on. Can't grow Utricularia graminifolia to save my life. I wasted a lot of money on tissue cultures for that one. Yeah, I think that's one of those ones that will either grow in your tank or it will just die. Isn't that the one that's actually carnivorous. I think that's a carnivorous plant as well. Feeds on the microfauna that's floating around in the tank. Utricularia graminifolia. Yes. Or UG, as everyone seems to call it. Yeah, it is carnivorous. I thought it was. My general recollection of most, at least land-based carnivorous plants, is they do like acidic conditions. So it would be low pHs. From what I know, the majority of carnivorous plants live in swamp or bogland with a lot of peat, which means that the pH in the soil is low, so they don't like this alkaline soil. Um, Here, if you have a Venus flytrap, you don't water it with tap water because you'll kill it almost instantly. Water it with rainwater. Yes, true select pet, but being able to pronounce the things in Latin, gives you that kind of. Yeah, I can say that. Yeah, let's say things like things that you grow in a bog garden. They're probably found in the same places as the Utricularia graminifolia. Just the UG grows a bit lower in the actually underwater rather than just on the surface. Um, yeah, it's not like Dionotriphids where they eat people. Yeah, I think the trick is very soft water with those. I would have thought soft and somewhat acidic, but that's coming from someone who's just trying to figure it out off the top of their head, going by what seems to be common sense to me, which is oh, oh yeah, people like that DB yesterday. What happened at the auction, Sean? Heavy marsh area in Indonesia where pH is very low. Hardly no sediment. Great plant for shrimp tanks. Also feed on those substances. Yep. Yep. Microgeophagus ramirezi. Yep. Pelvic acromis pulcher. Yes. It's sometimes they have names that just roll off the tongue really nicely, and then sometimes they just go. I was like, Manny, I mean, that's just my general thinking of trying to put two and two together from facts I know. And I'll say if you've got hard water, I mean, your water's considerably softer than mine, but it's Neolamprologus called a punctatus. Yes. I mean, even some of the longer ones like Stitzostedia and Lucia perca. There's another good one. Known to the Americans as the walleye, known to the Europeans as the zander or the pike perch. Yeah, like pelvic acromis pulcher. See, this is the thing. I can't. We can't get it. Never mind, Teresa. Oh, there go the frogs again. Yeah, I'll say is the reason I don't have Carradina either. I mean, I would have to set up a tank with rainwater if I wanted to keep Carradina shrimp because I'm not going RO because it's just annoying and uses a lot of water that no, it produces wastewater and you then got to replace the filters and all that kind of stuff. So yes. So I'm just listening to the frogs going, kids drink the wastewater. To be fair, it's probably actually healthier than the RO water is. Distillers are easier, yeah, till recently. Yeah, I mean, I do have a rainwater butt in the garden, so yeah. If I was just doing a small shrimp tank, like 20, 30 litres, that wouldn't be a problem. Maybe come summer if we don't get any rain. Waste comes out at 50. Oh, geez. And my tap water is normally around about somewhere around Mandy's, but a lot higher pH. My tap water is, I mean, it varies on time of year, what the weather's been doing. It can go from 7.6 pH with no nitrates, and I've had it as high as 8.2, 8.4 pH and 150 parts per million nitrate. And yeah, it comes at ludicrous numbers, Dan. You know, that's not tap water, you're selling me liquid calcium. Well, I bet if you were to drink it, Dan, though, you know, you wouldn't break bones very often with that much calcium in it. 7 pH on those and 45 ppm. Limestone quarry is a reservoir. Yeah, that's probably not the best idea. But then also, this part of the country, it's chalk, which is calcium carbonate. So rainwater being less than 7 pH, when it hits the calcium carbonate, dissolves it slightly and raises the pH up. Takes 4 pH. 4 pH? What the heck? That's like vinegar. Oh yeah, the pH doesn't move. Yeah, you don't. I did try to lower the pH once by using the pH down buffer, and yeah, I put the correct dosage in, checked it later, and it's like, yeah, that's come down, that's good. Check the next day, it's back up to normal again. It's like, right. Not even done a water change or anything. It's just 24 hours, and there's that much calcium in the water that it doesn't do anything. Oh, special guest. We have Dave. So, if you can hear that in the background, it's not my guts. It's actually the frogs outside. Yep. See you later, Chris. If you're still here, I know I saw it a while back. Yeah, water like the Rift Valley. It's just where people live, what the bedrocks are, and if like I know what Corey and Joel say about how soft their water is. Well, that's because the Pacific Northwest is granite and basalt bedrock, which the water doesn't erode. So they're just getting rainwater basically by the time the plant has filtered out whatever gunk it's picked up on the way, which is why it's so soft. And you're wondering how I know that particular part of America has granite and basalt bedrock. But, it's also true rainforest. Yep, temperate rainforest. It's because I was actually watching a documentary from, was it Central Washington University? I was a documentary. It was a talk all about the geology of the Pacific Northwest. No, I didn't actually fall asleep. It's quite interesting. And how all that area is a string of volcanoes, basically, which is why it's all the granite and the basalt. It's all volcanic rock. The whole cardinal, what I wonder. Yeah, it's again it's one of those things that I don't want to be trying to mess around too much with water. No. But first I go with possibly a Carradina shrimp tank using rainwater. But as for I try to go for fish that do well in my water conditions. It's different if there are specific species that you want to keep, but then you have to do things. Carolina's 5565 on puffing substrate. Oh, I know you did, Norm. Thank you very much. Norm's someone who doesn't keep fish, not really that interested in it. For some reason, actually watches my fish videos. ADA, which like hers stays lower longer. Yep. Bright well comes up. Yeah, but it's one of those things where if you go active versus invert, and yeah, that's something I've got to look into more, as different kinds of substrates and what they do. Well, I mean, the worst tap water I've had was when we lived in Minamynnoth in Wales, because it was old iron pipes and the water would come out red from the amount of iron oxide in the water. You're literally drinking rust. It was tasty. I mean, it'd be great for red plants. You wouldn't need to put any extra added iron in the tank, but help, I've got a red water tank. But yeah, literally it'd come out the taps red. But that was, I mean, the reason was we were basically living on the side of the Black Mountain, so the RAF tornadoes would come past doing their low-level flight training, and you'd be able to look down at the planes. And now I live at sea level. Yeah, it was. I joke about where I live now, being the back end of nowhere, being in a small town. But that place in Wales, that was the very edition of back end of nowhere. The nearest house was about 3/4 of a mile away, and it was a farm. And then from there, the nearest village was about 5 miles away, and the nearest town was about 15 miles away. 30 likes. Well, thank you very much, people. Yeah, crushed oyster shells, that'll work to bring the pH up. Won't, well, bring it up or it'll buffer it. The problem, if you're trying to buffer to a low pH, which is an acidic water, if you try and buffer it with something calcium carbonate based, like oyster shells or crushed coral, the acid in the water will break down the oyster shell or whatever and raise the pH. So it will come up to 7, at which point there's no acid. So the media, let's call it, stops dissolving. And then anytime there's a bit of acid, it dissolves a bit more. It just it buffers the pH at neutral. The problem is when you try and go lower than that, when you're trying for the lower pH is when things can get unstable. Yeah, neutralizes each other. And if your tank is running at 7 pH or higher, you can put as much crushed coral, crushed oyster shell, eggshell, whatever as you like in there. It won't do anything to the pH because it's not going to dissolve without acid. Yeah. lemon juice and vinegar versus baking soda. Exactly. And I can never remember which one you're supposed to put on a wasp sting and which one you're supposed to put on a bee sting. So it's easier these days because I'm allergic to wasp stings now. So I just try and avoid getting stung by wasps. The pain of the sting is far less than the issues I have afterwards anyway. Right. I have to leave you for a moment because, yep, got to go wrestle the alligator, drain the vein. So back in a minute, peeps. Enjoy the fishes for a moment. Oh, pardon me. Ugh. Oops, hope that one didn't come through. Right, yes, I did wash my hands. No, it shouldn't leach calcium. It shouldn't do anything, Hadley. What it will do is it will stop the pH dropping below 7. At least chemically, how I understand it anyway. What about black water concentrates? Well, they're going to be a tannic or fulvic or fumic acid. So they would drop the pH. But if you've got buffers in there like crushed coral or a buffering substrate, they'll fight each other. I'll say they'll fight each other. As long as you've got enough crushed coral or whatever in there, it'll keep the pH to around 7. But the crushed coral will dissolve faster. Yeah. I mean, once the buffering runs out, say you've got X amount of calcium in the water. Once that runs out, then the pH will start to drop. So then, when you do a water change, it'll come up a bit, but it won't be a rapid shifting pH, which is fairly safer. It can cause a pH crash issue. So I don't necessarily know these things from experience, just from what I've worked out from my basic grasp of general chemistry and acids and alkalis, and from experimenting and blowing myself up accidentally in the past. Tab is 8, tanks with crushed coral at 8.2. 98. Yeah, that's might be having a slight effect. Cyclist 23. Difference between 8 and 8.2. It's not. A pH shift of 0.2 or 0.3 isn't going to hurt anything. Crushed coral mainly with the shrimp tanks. Yeah, just to keep them buffered so it doesn't. Baby's just got in the front legs too. Look very cool. Sweet. Always good to get new babies. And as Dan says, yeah, being for fish, just stable is the best thing. And if they're captive bred as well, then you know they're used to tank conditions, so you should have better luck with captive bred fish than wild caught fish. Inverts more complicated. Yep, depend on the invert. I would say, yeah, stability, keeping things the same. Does crushed coral raise TDS? Well, as it dissolves, it will. So if you're running, if you've got some acid in the tank, it will dissolve some calcium out of the crushed coral as it buff. That's how it buffers, by dissolving. And yes, it will raise it up, but it's not a bad raise it up. You got to remember the TDS is everything that's in the water. So that's going to be any dissolved solids, organic, minerals, whatever. I mean, you could probably keep something in ludicrously high TDS as long as what those dissolved solids aren't dangerous to that life form. You won't have any troubles, or you shouldn't do. I've heard that as well, Mandy. I think it's more of a case of the eggs calcify. Certain species like rams, which prefer lower pH, will do that. I think it's I think it is calcification rather than anything else. Although don't quote me on that. I don't know these things. I'm no scientist. That causes infertility in tetras. Well, there we go. We all learn something new every day. So if you want tetras to breed, keep them in soft water. It's the whole water chemistry is a real big subject to go down, and it would probably take someone with a PhD in biology and chemistry to be able to put the whole thing together and to be able to go, this is how it is. For someone like me, I'm just going either by what I see, what makes sense to me. I mean, I may be missing something completely and come to completely the wrong conclusion. But I tend to put things I know together and then come up with a theory. And usually I'm kind of right. Depend on most subjects, really. It's. Oh, will you be quiet, frogs? Nope, another mosquito. pH can affect. Well, there we go. Well, Mandy is safe. I haven't got glow betters, and yeah. Considering the amount of loo roll that one single male going through, one single male living in a house, you don't need 16 rolls of toilet roll. That's going to last you a year or more. pH can affect the sex ratios of cichlids. Yes, it can. I've heard about that. I think temperature can with, is it live bearers? Is it things like guppies? Where if it's warmer, you get more males, or if it's cooler, you get more females, or maybe the other way around. Yeah, I can't remember. think it might be warmer is more females because my last lot of guppy fry were all female, which could cause a problem. Oh, last cigarette paper. Never mind, we're nearly there. Yes. So, oh, yeah, the water rabbit hole. The same with anything for any aquarium. Aquarium. What works in one might not work in another. We've all got different waters, different substrates, different decor, different plants, different filters, different fish, different stocking levels, different bacteria levels, different microflora and fauna, feed different things. Just one of them things different can have a big difference on the tank. Yeah, species adapt. As I was saying earlier, with the German bred discus, they've managed to, over the generations, breed those discus to be at their happiest in, neutral to slightly alkaline and slightly warmer than usual. So it's they've got them so that they're easier for people to keep. They're easier to keep alive, which probably doesn't go down well with some. Oh God, no, not Pop-Tarts. No, I don't do Pop-Tarts. I tried them once and burnt the roof of my mouth. They're like Breville toasty sandwiches. Good evening, Ken. Don't worry about it. You've been at work. You've been at work, mate. Ken from Danny Ken Aquatics. As Chris says, try and remember to say the channel name as well, because that might help. Someone might. Not everyone knows who everyone is. So yeah, it's the. No, I go, hi Mandy. Not everyone necessarily knows that the Zen Ginger is Mandy. And they sit there going, what? I had it happen in Joel's stream a while back where I came in and said, evening fishy friends. Everyone went, hi John. And Joel sat there looking confused, looking to see who John is. It's. Brings the question of the world pH going down. Yeah, that's the overall world's pH is going down. The hobby is breeding fish for harder water. Yeah, well, at the moment, generally, I think I'm going to make a real generalized assumption that most tap water is harder than wild water, as it were. So that's my theory there. Or they're breeding fish, so they prefer a wider variety. Yeah, I know he does. Oh, did you get the email sorted out, Mandy, to Mark? Or did he just get confused and was looking for an email from a Zen Ginger rather than Amanda? He's like, why does this person keep sending me emails? I'm not looking for that. I'm looking. He's probably been looking under Z or G. Yeah. This is minerals have what with 50 parts per million. Yeah. Yes. Good question, Norm. I don't know. Speak of the devil. Hello, Mark. How you doing? Mark Shrimp Tanks. Good to have you aboard. Yeah, I don't know if nicotine will get into the water. I'm sure there's probably some kind of chemical from the smoke or whatever gets in the water. The only thing I've noticed is, much like my glasses, I do have to clean the glass on the tank fairly regularly on the front, to see through it. Otherwise, it gets that tinted look. Looks like a black water tank when it's not a black water tank because of the tar build up on it. But yeah, it's not something I've noticed. And perhaps if I stop smoking, maybe my fish would start jonesing for nicotine. I don't know. But then, no, I do try and keep the air relatively fresh in here. Like I've got the back door open, just so the whole place doesn't turn into a fog of smoke like it used to several years ago. When you get to the end of the evening, open the door and just a wall of fog rolls out. Oh, see you later, Moon. Have fun. Stay safe, and I would say don't do anything I wouldn't do, but that doesn't really take a lot out of the equation. And yes, I will probably be putting up the video this week on what I did with the shrimp tank. There's no footage of me actually doing it. I just talk through what I did. Well, hey, all sorted. Was it a pack of the nettle mix? I think something like that, wasn't it? Which, actually, speaking of which, I did give my shrimpies some nettles yesterday. All gone. Yeah, I've got them growing in the garden, so I just go out, pull off a few of the top leaves, softest ones, not the big old woody ones at the bottom, just the tips, just the tip. Blanch them off, stick them in a mug of water, stick it in the microwave for a couple of minutes, basically boil it, and then just chuck them in the tank, and the shrimp go nuts for them. Still too early for well, I say we've not had a winter here, Mark. We've had a few light frosts. I think the lowest it got down to was like -4. But yeah, we've had no snow or anything, so all my crocuses have flowered and gone. The daffodils are all in flower. The tulips are coming through. The frogs have all spawned in the pond. The birds are starting to nest in the ivy in the back fence. Yeah. I think that's the way it goes. We get one with a good cold snap, and then we get a warm one, and then we get a good cold snap, and then a warm one. And we could do with a good cold snap now to kill off bugs. But, it's always colder up there, Hadley. It's just the way it is. You get the Atlantic weather, we get the North Sea weather. No, Mark's wearing his bra tonight. Yeah, El Nino and La Nina. Yeah. No, it's slightly different. We either get the weather that, and if it comes across from the Atlantic, it's made it all the way across the country before it gets to me. Then the opposite, if it comes from Norway, Sweden, Siberia, which is where it generally originates, it's still bloody cold when it gets here. Which is why, some years Norfolk can get a good old dumping of snow and nowhere else gets it. You see the rest of the country, why on about all this snow? And like 2 days later, the rest of the country will get it. So yes, all good. Strange weather conditions. Plus, with it being so flat around here, weather just comes straight across. No hills or mountains to slow it down or change its course. Winter, Geordie summertime. Yeah, time for a barbie, I reckon. Norm. Well, I mean, to be fair, though, I think just all year round is basically summertime to Geordies. Well, when it gets hot, you do really struggle. I mean, I do as well. I hate the heat. And the only reason I'm thinking about shutting the back door is that this Pleco tub doesn't get too cold. I'm perfectly comfy. Forever grey. No, we do get some blue days. Yeah, I think Scotland being that bit further north, probably does get murkier for more. And then I spent time in Wales, and you know, that was either raining or you were wet because you were in the cloud. What's this big yellow thing in the sky? Everyone starts worshipping it. So I was supposed to get 25. I think it's about 6 at the moment, maybe a bit lower. It's definitely still t-shirt weather though. Yes. Well, the upside of Scotland is you do have gold-bearing rivers, so you can go panning for gold as long as you get permission off the landowner. Yeah, there's definitely no gold-bearing rivers around here. That's another one of the things I watch randomly on YouTube. People doing gold panning. So it's the. I mean, this time of year you want sunny days and cloudy nights. In the summer you want cloudy days and clear nights. But it tends to be the other way around. Keep the heat out during the day and then let the heat out in the night. Mark watches gold panning. Do you watch? Who's it I watch? I watch Dan Hurd and Clash Guitars, Mark. I find those ones to be not too over the top or over enthusiastic about stuff. Being British, too much enthusiasm puts me off. One of the slime coats and Teresa and Hadley are having a chat. Yeah, same ones. They both just seem cool dudes. Plus, you think of you think in your mind and you imagine a gold prospector. Then you see Dan Hurd on TV or on the screen. You go, he's a gold prospector. He just looks like it. Yeah, I think Bonguri stopped doing that as well. There are a couple of interesting ones. I can't remember the name of the channel now. Where we're talking European based, where they go around the old battlefields and of the wars and find the random oddments of militaria tucked away, the odd tank. Scott's here, Alien World Aquatics. How are you, Scott? Have you seen Dave Polides' latest video? If you have, or even if you haven't, I do suggest you look up the Dyatlov Pass incident. That's very interesting. Even Paige just woke up at 4 p.m. Well, you had a long and busy and exciting weekend, so I hope you enjoyed your first big, the big fish deal. Made some new friends and hopefully didn't buy too much stuff. Yeah, look it up, Scott. Again, Bob Gimlin did a video on it, and there's plenty of videos on it. Very interesting. For those who don't know, the Dyatlov Pass incident is from the Ural Mountains in Russia. Basically speaking, a group of experienced outdoors people, experienced cross-country skiers and campers and that kind of thing, last week or year of university, we'd call it, went for a trek across the Ural Mountains, and yes, ended up dying, and no proof or evidence. Well, plenty of evidence, but nobody knows what actually caused it or what actually happened. Cool. Yep, they cut their way out of the tent, and then yeah, something or someone basically attacked the tent. Some of them cut their way out and ran, and they all died, apart from one guy who dropped out like 2 days into the trek. Yeah, missing tongues, all sorts. I mean, things like the missing tongue could well be animals finding them after the fact. Because I think it was a month or two before they found the bodies, or several months. So, but they all exhibited rather serious wounds that didn't necessarily match up with a bear attack. But yeah, hopefully, and I look forward to seeing all your new fishies, Scott. It's always fun to see new fishies. So it's the chemicals and stuff they put in the water to treat it that makes it harder. Chlorine, aluminium. Yes, they put aluminium in the drinking water to make it sparkle more. Finn, how many fish tanks do I have? Oh, I've got 9 at the moment. Well, 7 tanks, 2 grow out tubs, and a pond. Yeah, good. See the cucumber doing the trick. Yeah, not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens. Yeah, no worries. It's what I did. What way is the West Coast? So 6 pH and tap is around 7. Yeah, it's things they're putting into the water to treat it so it's safe for us to drink. Probably not so safe for other stuff. Our wet pets, our fin and shell buddies. So for me, I don't worry about snails overly. I mean, if I've got thousands, then I'll pull some out, but I just pull a handful out and chuck them outside for the birds. Oh, what do we get, Scott? Blue phantom plec, gorgeous. 2 kinds of pistos, gorgeous. Some half beaks, plants, a whole bunch of shrimp. Oh wow, Paige has got an amber better. Even that's awesome. Yeah, they stabilised the water. Yeah, there's probably still a lot of lead piping around or other random stuff that's got into the water system over the years that they don't want getting into the water. Yeah, there's going to be lead, and small amounts of gold and silver, mercury, tin, copper, manganese, magnesium, iron. There's all sorts. I don't think it was, and we're not talking about the other one. Mainly because YouTube have asked us not to. So as not to spread more panic or disinformation. If you have any questions, go to either the World Health Organization, the NHS, or CDC, he says, because I actually read the email. Treat the tank the hydra. Yeah, I'll say if you're going to put something in that's going to kill the hydra, it'll probably kill the snails. So if you can take the snails out, it'd be a good idea. Otherwise, you're going to get a big ammonia spike when all the snails die. Because I've read of that happening more than once, where people have put something in to kill off the snails. They've killed off the snails. it's caused a massive ammonia spike, and that's killed their fish. Because all the snails died and started rotting, and snails rot real fast in water. Yep. As I say, we've been asked not to talk about that, Finn, so yeah. And Bender's all no planaria, yeah, it'll just obliterate them. Yeah, poor Karami ate all the Hydra. Yeah, I will. Oh, these things like Planarian Hydra tend to just turn up in shrimp tanks more than fish tanks. Simply, it's not because of overfeeding or whatever. It's simply because the fish eat them. You know, it's. Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, better to be safe than sorry, though, in my book. Yeah, so we'll just cut back on the feeding is the other one, but that can take a while because you need to then wait for a bunch of them to die off because they're starving, and then again you could get a bit of an ammonia spike, but hopefully they wouldn't all die at the same time. Fun fact: ram's horns eat cyanobacteria. Result. In that case, I might see if I can get myself some ram's horns. Tend not to see them around here, though. We can get nerites easily. Accidentally get bladder snails and pond snails. And in the shops, you can buy nerites and sometimes Malaysian trumpets. But you just don't see ram's horn snails in the shops around here. I don't know why. I'm sure pink or blue or whatever ram's horns would do great. That's fine, Dan. I haven't actually got any cyano at the moment. Well, there's a tiny little bit in one, but that's easy enough to keep up with. It's in with the Pleco farm. What used to be the Platy farm. It was only a little bit, and I just manually remove with the water change. Some blue leopard in my blue shrimp. Yeah, themes are good. Theme tank. Yeah. Most of my tanks are just very random. This will start off. I still class myself as a new fish keeper, so it's like, ooh, shiny, me want. Ooh, which tank can they survive in? Look at the tanks, look at what the fish like. They can go in there. Well, there's too many fish in there. I will have to pull some of them out and put them in there, and then we put them in there, and yeah, I've learned now. Kids theme the tanks off the Avengers, the blue Captain America tank. The Captain America tank's got the Hydra infestation. Oh, that is proper irony. Welcome back again, Sean. I ain't going to be much longer, I don't think. Well done, D. You got the dogs de-stenched. Now they got to go out and roll in some fox poop so they can smell right again. Come on, let's be honest. People bathe their dogs, make them smell all lovely, and first thing the dog does is goes and finds something to roll in to get rid of the stench of perfume. Or is that just my experience of dogs? You clean them and 3 minutes later they're dirtier than they were. Yeah, and yeah, the lettuce leaf trick, and then the single assassin snail. You're right, Mandy. You go see Kate. I would say hi to John, but you know, he ain't gonna know who I am. Go and rub in the rabbit poop. Yeah, rabbit poop's fine. That's better than what Zach was rubbing himself in the other day. He'd been under a car and he's yes. A white cat going under a car, getting black grease in his fur. Yeah, that's going to be fun to get rid of. Bless him. He was a bit scared. I think he may have been under the car, fast asleep, and someone got in and he didn't wake up. And then the engine started and he did wake up and ran and bashed himself, scared himself. So he had to come have lots of cuddles and snoozes. It was all right then. Yes, bless him. A couple of assassin snails. Yeah, that's why Dan said one assassin snail. You get more than one, you're going to have problems, because then you just have an assassin snail outbreak. Well, you might be able to sell the assassins. Yeah, exactly. Zach does what Zach wants. You don't make Zach do things he doesn't want to do, otherwise you're going to lose body parts. I said there are 5 people who are allowed to stroke him. 2 people who can give him a good proper fuss, and 1 person he will actually curl up and sleep with. And that person isn't his own. Bless him. And so he decided I'm his pet human. Yeah. Just 1 assassin and manually remove what you can. Yeah. Good advice. Yeah, the old notification from earlier. Yeah. I did see that come up, members only stream. I'm not a member, but I saw the video come up on YouTube. It's one of those something I'll watch later. I've got a lot of big fish still stuff to catch up with. Yeah. Dog would lick a burglar. Yeah. Most dogs would just lick you to death. I was in Pets at Home earlier. No. The second bonus of going there is to fuss the puppies. There was a little dachshund, and I don't know the breed, like a little mini bear, super floofy, super cute. There was a Spangle. Yeah, I said hello to all of them. Teresa's dog just barks and hopes the person has a toy or cup. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be a burglar breaking in here if Zach was in here, because Zach gets very protective of his territory. And yes, I'm not sure who'd be more dangerous, me or Zach. Probably me, because I've got 3-foot cavalry saber upstairs. And yes, that would make quite a mess of somebody. So I don't have a dog or a cat technically. I just fuss everyone else's dogs. I've tried having a staring contest with Zach. Yeah, he can just sit there and stare for hours. Cavalry saber, Hadley. 1.5 edged 3-foot sword, basically, with a slight curve to it. And yes, it is properly sharpened. Oh yeah, that's just pure Zach. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to do what I want. Yeah, you have permission to fuss me human, but I'm not going to perform for the camera. Oh well, yeah, bunnies. Yeah, bunnies can be dangerous. We've all seen the Holy Grail. Although, again, Nadine's bunny, Tony, he'd come over, give you a sniff. If you didn't sniff right, he'd give you a chin rub. And he'd probably just shrug his shoulders and go lay down somewhere. Once he figured out he hadn't got food. Bless him. He's a very, very cool bunny. Run away, run away. Rabbit stew coming right up. Hand me the holy hand grenade of Antioch. Excuse me, I've got a rabbit with the zoomies running. Yay! Zoomy rabbits. I think the technical term is bimping. When they go zoomies and jumpies and just having silly, funny 5 minutes. Shows they're happy though. Attack shell dwellers. I've got to admit, that's one of the things I'd probably be more worried about, because I have heard about it happening. It's one of those things where people break into your house. They'll break in, they'll steal what they want to steal. But if you've got tanks, and not all burglars are the same class. I've heard them, they'll go around and dump bleach in the fish tanks. They'll go into the kitchen, grab the bleach and dump it into the tanks just for an extra joke. Yes, the holy hand grenade of Antioch. Yeah, I've spent way too much time over the years playing Worms, Dan. It's just ludicrous. Prod is the best weapon ever. Or the banana bomb. Or just walking up to someone who's on a ledge, dropping dynamite by them and then jumping away and watching them just swear at you. Or dragon punching them onto a mine. That's a good one as well. Kamikaze! Yeah, prod is just someone stood on the edge of a ledge and you just walk up to them and just go, eh! Just poke them off on the side of the cliff. Yeah, they do it. I don't know if it's a British thing or whatever. I think it's more the chabby teenager type. Super sheep is always cool. Yeah, bimping. Yeah, just means that they're happy doing zoomies, jumping for joy. Yeah, yeah. People will take dogs, rabbits, cats, whatever they can. Yeah, the old grandma was quite fun as well. Sending the granny after him. Oh man. Yeah, I'm not gonna have to play that game ever again, because I'll either get back on it and realize I suck because I haven't played it for years, or just lose days again. That's what happens. Yeah, fish keepers. No. That's the thing though, isn't it? These days, everyone's got a computer. Everyone's got a flat screen TV. Everyone's got. Strangest thing I've seen someone steal: a pregnancy test. Which tells me if you can't afford to buy a pregnancy test, you can't afford the child. Happens regularly in supermarkets. You find an empty box, or kiddies' medicine like Calpol. You'll find an empty Calpol box. No, they've just taken the bottle out of the box, left the box, and walked out with it. Actually, the strangest thing I saw someone steal. This is going back many years ago. Was the dashboard switchgear for a Mark I Capri out of a car in a scrapyard. Trying to steal the one's princess, put it back in the supermarket. Yeah, there are certain things they're not going to take back. Oh, well, they stole the turf, or the AstroTurf, I suppose you'd call it, friend had a watchdog Rottweiler stolen. Oh dear. I mean, I suppose, you know, things like a Rottie, you can chuck some meat at it with some anaesthetic in. Sean's mate broke in our house. Only stole a sock. On the skeleton dropped off a pack of socks. I'm guessing there was drink or drugs involved in that one. Jumped the fence, rolled it up, and walked off down the street. Oh dear. Oh, it's like one of those things where if you get a skip to clear some crud and rubbish and stuff, you can guarantee you'll wake up in the morning and there will either be a sofa or a mattress in the skip that someone else has just dumped in there. And because you don't know who it is, you can't just go dump it next to their house. I mean, it's fairly regularly in my, I'll find fast food wrappers in my bin when I go and put something in there, because my bin lives out the front. People walk past and they just, I'd rather they dump their fast food wrapper in my bin than just leave it on the floor. Don't get me wrong, but you know, it's not like every week I fill up a wheelie bin. Because we have a full-size wheelie bin around here, for one for the normal, one for the recycling. I've got a third one for garden waste as well. Imagine it's over in the skip one day, it's gone the next. Yeah, it's a bit like Liverpool. You'd never find car wheels in a skip in Liverpool, would you? You might find the rest of the car, but you wouldn't find the wheels or bricks. They nick the bricks out of the skip to put the car up on, to nick the wheels. Yes. Anyway, before I start offending everyone around the country and the world, and because not only is other people's stomachs grumbling, and mine is too, and we're at nearly 2.5 hours, I will say thank you for watching, everyone. Hope everyone stays safe and well, and goes by what health professionals say rather than random people on YouTube, and enjoys their hobby, whether they be fish keepers, modelers, or both. Has a good week. I'll see you same time next week. So, peace out. Rock on. Bye-bye.